Hello, everyone. My name is Alex, and I am joined here by another Alex, Alex Moretti of Fallen Planet Studios. How you doing, man?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Doing very, very well. Thank you so much, man. It's a pleasure to meet you. Fallen Planet, if you are unaware, are the studios behind Affected the Manor, actually coming out on Quest today.
Today. So exciting times, really exciting.
It's extremely exciting. So, has there been anything particularly challenging about the process porting over to the Quest?
Well, yeah, it's been just a full rebuild. The Quest is a mobile headset at heart, so for us, we've had to rebuild everything from scratch, which it's been cool. It's been a difficult process, but we're really excited about what that headset offers to consumers. For us, it's a great first VR proposition for consumers just to pick up, to buy, to take around, show the friends. So anything that reduces that friction, for us, it's a positive.
I love it. So, is this the year? Is 2020 the year for VR? What do you think?
Yeah, well, I mean, they kind of say it every year. But it's all, incrementally it's getting bigger every year as well. I think that gradualism we were discussing sort of earlier can put off consumers a little bit. They kind of want everything all the time, right now, immediately. But it's a journey, we're dealing with technology, a lot of clever people trying to make stuff look really, really easy. And they're getting there. The Quest is, I think, the first glimpse of it, really.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's available at a consumer level. People can digest, and it's easy and accessible, and all of that. So the Affected, it's a series, right?
Yeah. That's correct. Yeah, I mean, Affected the Manor is the first of a trilogy, and we call it a series, or you might not think so because it's all we've released in the past few years. But that's just on the consumer side. We do a lot in the B2B and location-based VR. So we've made several other Affected experiences, whether that's motion simulator platforms, or we've worked with Ultraleap recently to create their mid-air haptic, gloveless feedback location-based attraction, which has been really, really cool. And of course, every time we try and do a port, like to Quest, it's complicated, it can take a bit of time. So we've been really focused on making sure our consumer app works really well with the headset, whilst extending the IP in the B2B side and location-based entertainment.
That's amazing. Now, Affected, scary stuff in VR is extremely scary, man. It is no joke. Horror in VR is very, very intense. Have you gotten it desensitized to it at all, by being in there, or do you still get those feelings?
Totally desensitized.
Yeah, you can get in there, no problem.
Yeah, if I'm just doing QA, I'll fall asleep with a headset on and wake up with a scary girl. But what I would say, that's not a bad thing, because you can look at that kind of exposure therapy in the same way I'm desensitized to some horror scares. I'm desensitized to height as well. I've got a high up room and looking out. It just reminds me of looking out the Oculus Home thing and looking down. So I think that kind of indicative of the power of virtual reality to kind of change and shape the way we view things.
That is brilliant. That's a great point. I'm curious about your magic moment for VR. What was the moment where it clicked for you and you were like, this is it, I'm getting involved, or this is the future, or what was that moment for you?
Yeah, 2013, DK1, playing, I think, a roller coaster experience that made me sick for a couple of days, but it didn't matter because it was just so immersive. And it was that kind of immersion that we took into Affected. There's not a whole lot of mechanics going in there. There's not a lot of interaction with the environment. Some other great apps and great studios do that, make cool shooters, escape rooms, etc. For us, we just wanted to focus solely on that immersion, that transportive power that virtual reality can offer people. So I think that's why it's kind of done so well and been successful, and we still get asked by companies like Oculus to port. It's about having a curated library of experiences for consumers. We talk about introducing them to VR in the right way. And if you don't mind a bit of horror, then Affected is really cool at onboarding people. That's why we see the popularity in the arcades that we do, because it's a great way to introduce people to what VR can be. It's a limited experience, maybe 15, 20 minutes long, but it's just high quality. And for people that have never seen VR before, it can blow the mind that they can just be in another place just by putting a headset on.
Does it ever worry you that people might associate VR with novelty, kind of in the way that they might like a haunted house? Because a haunted house to me is a novelty, not something that I would do all the time. Does it ever worry you that there might be that kind of association, or do you think that the immersion is enough to just carry it through?
Yeah, for us, Affected the Manor is what it is. We're not trying to make it more than that. We're not trying to add different elements that may be complicated. For us, it's great for new users to try it because there aren't complicated controls or crazy reload mechanisms that you get with some shooters, etc. They're great and I love them, but for non-gamers or even non-VR gamers, some of those things can be a bit off-putting. So for us, we're just happy to have an app that will introduce people to virtual reality, and they can go on and try other things after that.
Right.
Affected the manner, we know what it does and what it works at, so we're exploring different mechanics and different interactions in future titles that are already in development.
I love it. Speaking a little bit about what we spoke about earlier, talking about getting people into it. What do you think it's going to take for mass adoption? Like, what's the barrier? Like, what's the main thing that once that happens, what do you think is going to tip the scales?
I think it's just an awareness. For us, having been doing this since 2013, there may be an explosive moment, I'm not sure, but we just see it growing and growing every time, and even if they're small incremental steps, you can get to sort of 2019, 2020, turn around and look back at sort of Google Cardboard that is still, in recent memory and think, well, the progression that has been made is astounding, so I think as long as that progression keeps happening, then it's going to draw more people into the market.
I think you're right. Anything else that we need to know about the studio or the process?
Well, Affected the Manor available on Quest today.
Today.
Today, gone live 12th of December. So we're just really excited about that. For us, it's been a long journey to get here, so we're confident we'll be doing well with it.
I absolutely love it. This is Alex from Fallen Planet Studios. Thank you so much for taking a few minutes to talk, man.
Cheers, Alex. Thank you.
Cheers.